Now at 6.
We were all in bed asleep, and I heard an explosion.
A tanker overturns and bursts into flames.
When I got up, I looked out our bedroom window, and everything was just orange.
Thousands of gallons of diesel fuel burned along a busy road.
It was a pretty massive fire. It was a lot of black smoke.
And another problem lingers.
The more significant thing at this time is that we have a culvert drain that during the intensity of the fire apparently collapsed underneath the roadway.
Now we know the impacts from this fiery crash will be felt for weeks. This special edition of WDBJ7 News at 6 begins right now.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jean Jadhun.
And I'm Robin Reed. Our top story tonight, part of Route 220 in Botetourt County is closed after an early morning tanker crash.
This is what the scene looked like this morning. You can see the flames as the spilled gas from that truck burned. And here you can see what's left of the truck captured in this video by Air 7.
Now tonight we have team coverage in Botetourt County. So Sarah Maki, let's go to you first. You say they've been removing the truck in pieces today.
Yeah, piece by piece, trying to clear this scene. And the last of that wreckage, they loaded up and carted out around 3 o'clock. But still right now, the roads are closed. And even when they are able to get traffic moving again, it'll be quite a while before everything is back to normal.
The burnt wreckage of this tanker truck was so broken and so charred, crews couldn't remove it in one piece. Instead, they pulled out the chainsaws, tow trucks, and bulldozers to remove it from the ditch where it caught on fire and burned. This is what crews found Wednesday morning when they arrived. A tanker up in flames, black smoke filling the air. And then the problems compounded, causing structural damage to the road itself.
The more significant thing at this time is that we have a culvert drain, a pipe underneath 220 on the northbound side that during the intensity of the fire apparently collapsed underneath the roadway.
Hi, is this Firewater Transport?
It is.
We reached out to the company that owns the truck, Firewater Transport. We were giving you a call because they told us the driver is okay. Crews worked hours to clean up this scene, clearing the last pieces about 9 hours after the accident.
All right, so the driver in that case has been cited with reckless driving. He told police that he was swerving to avoid hitting a deer when this whole accident happened. They are still working to reopen the roads, but they'll have both lanes sharing just one side of Route 220. It's going to be quite a while before they can reopen the entire thing.
Boy, that's going to be a mess. Just like the weather today. Sarah Maki starting off with our special coverage tonight. Thank you. Now, VDOT has several detours in place until they can get the southbound side of 220 moving in two directions. Southbound traffic will use Mary Alice Road to West Wind Road to Old Fincastle Road to return to 220. Northbound traffic will use Old Fincastle Road to West Wind Road to Mary Alice Road. Signs are in place. VDOT says a long-term closure on the northbound side is expected.
Now that tanker wrecked near homes, and residents who lived there were worried the flames might come in their direction. WDBJ7's Joe DeShiel is live along US 220 tonight. Joe, I imagine there were some really scary moments for the people who live in that area.
Well, without a doubt, Jean, from the earlier footage you saw, you could see just how intense the flames were. For Danny Stiltner and his family, they were asleep when all this happened, but they were awakened by an explosion.
Everything was just orange and with the smoke black.
From his front door, Danny Stiltner could see the intense flames and thick smoke, and he worried it might be coming in his family's direction.
All I know is it was just scaring us plumb to death because we have a gas furnace, and that was one of our big main concerns if the wind was going to bring it to our house.
Jessica Kubler didn't hear the wreck. She realized something was going on when first responders started rolling in. But like her neighbors, she prepared for a quick escape.
Well, because I have 2 kids, my thought was make sure that they were safe. They were kind of scared with all the explosions happening and not really knowing what's going on and why is there a fire back there. And so we were getting the car cleaned off in case we need to make a quick exit and get out of here.
Sandy Lucas wasn't on his property when the tanker wrecked, but he feared the worst after a neighbor called to tell him what had happened.
I'm feeling very thankful. It absolutely could have been worse. As I was on my way down, I could conceive of the barn being on fire and the implements that I have inside being a total loss. And as it is, it's inconvenient, but it's not something we can't fix. So.
All three families will suffer from some lingering effects. First and foremost, the traffic and access to their property. And Gene, Sandy Lucas says that it may be a month before his cattle are able to drink out of the creek, so he's now making plans to deal with that.
It's amazing, all of the effects from this crash, Joe. Thankfully, everyone is okay, though. Joe DeShiel out at the scene this evening on 220. Meanwhile, emergency management crews have been on the scene all day today. Botetourt County officials are asking anyone who lives nearby or has livestock not to drink from any tributary of Catawba Creek near the crash site. Fuel spilled from the tanker into the water. Environmentalists in the region also have concerns about wildlife.
It's interesting that no people died. The livestock and the wildlife that drink out of Catawba Creek now may very well perish. There's no way to clean up that creek. And most of the fossil fuel disasters don't really have a fix. It's the position we are in.
Two biologists from the Department of Environmental Quality report about a dozen dead fish in an unnamed waterway nearby. Now, more information should be released later today. You can read more about the tanker crash by going to our website, WDBJ7.com.
Snow to start out our day in the hometown forecast, then sleet and now rain and lots of rain, heavy rain. So Brent, I hope you're well covered on the patio tonight.
I am, Robin. What a difference a couple hours makes. Yes, earlier today we had that sleet and the snow that was falling added that slushiness, and now it's all out rain, still a little bit of freezing rain in a couple spots. But I tell you, this rain is coming down heavily at times. Many areas along and south of the Roanoke Valley above freezing. So really the threat of any kind of wintry weather is over. We just have to worry about some flooding right now as that rain is coming down. Picked up over a half an inch of rain in some cases, even some thunderstorms. You might be hearing those along the Virginia-North Carolina border because we have some storms down there. That rain continues to move eastbound. We'll have a little bit of a break late tonight, and then temperatures actually warming up. By the time you wake up in the morning, we'll be in the upper 30s. Putting aside any kind of wintry weather, it's just going to be about those showers to start your day. We'll take a closer look at more rain. If you think this is heavy, wait until late in the week. I've got all the details in the 7-day.
Thanks. It's been a messy, busy morning for towing services, as you might expect around the region. WDBJ7's Anthony Romano is live in Blacksburg. Anthony, you spoke to a local towing service in the New River Valley. What was their day like?
Well, Robin, they said that they were busy early this morning. Their first calls came in around 2:30 a.m. and despite the snow and ice causing some issues, they say what's coming down now could be even worse. At Christiansburg's All Call Towing, Eugene Mason has seen it all.
Well, sometimes you wonder, what were you thinking?
He says Wednesday's storm brought a few of those moments, but so far the calls have been fairly routine.
To be honest with you, I'm worried more about the flooding after this with the rain falling than I am this actual snowstorm. This actually hasn't been very bad at all.
Further out in Wythe County, crews responded to multiple incidents involving tractor trailers, having to lift one back upright. Mason says he doesn't long for days like this, despite the boom in business they bring.
You got kind of mixed feelings. I mean, the company could use the money, and you always need that extra income coming in. But in the meantime, it's very dangerous. It's hard on equipment, it's hard on the drivers. The people, you don't want to see nobody get hurt.
Between midnight and 9 a.m., state police responded to 380 crashes and disabled vehicles around the Commonwealth. Though he responded to just a fraction of those, Mason knows the impact his work has on the people he helps.
It's really nice to be able to help people and get them moving and actually get them home safe. And I mean, it could be one of our family members, in another area, and I would hope that the tow company would treat them well as we try to treat our customers.
Now, Mason told me it's actually a lot easier to deal with snow and ice than it is to deal with flooding because it's just simply impossible to control that running water. Robin, he says he hopes that all the rain that we're getting right now doesn't lead to more flooding issues later on.
Yeah, we'll keep our fingers crossed. I know you're taking a soaking, so go dry out. And Anthony, thank you.
Several churches across our hometowns have canceled service for tonight, and we may see some school delays roll in for tomorrow. You can view the full list of closings and delays anytime by using our WDBJ7 News app. It is free. Just search WDBJ7 in your app store.
And right now you're watching WDBJ7 at 6. Here's a question I bet you haven't pondered
Yes.
for a while. What does it look like when a chimney sweep cleans a chimney? Well, we're going to show you next.
You have to stick around for that. We will also take a look at how you all enjoyed the snow today. That is coming up later in tonight's Good News here at home.
Our hometown patio is brought to you by Grand Home Furnishings.